Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be doing a bullet journal flip through. Let's get started. So I want to start off by saying that this bullet journal was never meant for anybody else to see. It was just for us. We started it back in September of 2018 when we started our baby step journey, and we wanted something to be able to visually keep track of our progress. So in here we have some things that I've had to scratch out or rearrange when we were first starting. It took us about 3 months to kind of get settled down on exactly what we wanted for this bullet journal. So I'm just going to walk you through each page and I'll explain what we've had to go through in each scenario. So I bought this bullet journal at Barnes & Noble. It's the first bullet journal I've ever had. It does have the dots in it for us to be able to draw through. I watched a few bullet journal videos and a few suggestions, and I thought that this one was cute and it kind of fit with the theme of getting through debt. Nevertheless, she persisted. So when you first open it up on this first page, we created just a title page. It says baby steps and the date 2018. And our first baby step we had was baby step 1. Like I said, we started back in September. The reason why we have so much of this filled up right now, right away, is because we first started off with the cash envelope system before we even had a written budget or knew what the baby steps were. And we just realized that we were completely out of order with what we were doing. So we went ahead and took that chunk of our cash envelopes that we had saved up and realized, hey, we need to get our baby step 1 emergency fund of $1,000 first. So we chunked all that in September, and then slowly we were able, with our side hustles, to get our baby step 1 completed quickly in October. If you follow us on Instagram, you might know that right now at the end of this month of April, we are trying to rebuild our baby step 1 emergency fund, because April was the first month that we actually had to dip into this, and we've been rebuilding it ever since. But if you want to know more about that, you can follow us on Instagram. So on the next page, we have our debt snowball, baby step 2. This is where we have been chunking away at our debt. We've listed them in order, like Dave Ramsey suggests, from the lowest price all the way to the highest, and we've been chunking away. So at first we were starting off, you can see here on the next page, I'll explain how we got a little sidetrack in October, but we've been doing $2,000 a month towards our debt, and then we've transferred that payment over to his car now. So we were paying our regular $383 payment, but after this tax debt has gone away, we started adding that $2,000. Something that the bullet journal doesn't do as well as some other ways, such as whiteboards or anything with a pencil, you can erase it. This tax ended up being a lot more than just the $6,500. At some point, I'm going to probably rewrite this and put some white out over it or something and do exactly how much that we've spent. But so far, this is what our baby step 2 is looking like, and our goal is to be done by April. So on the next page, we have our sinking funds. We already had multiple trips planned when we were starting our baby step journey, and we decided that instead of canceling these trips for us, we decided to continue to go on these trips, but we wanted to cash flow them. So our first trip was Tennessee that we had planned. So this is our flights. I just drew out a paper airplane. I just Googled bullet journal paper airplanes and kind of copied it out and drew it to scale so that each of our lines was $50. And we were able to meet that goal. Got all of those taken care of. And we also knew in Tennessee that we wanted some Tennessee fund money as well. And so we drew that out. We did $500 for our fund money. And we also had, we were doing Christmas in Tennessee. My brother and sister-in-law live there. So I drew a present with how much money we wanted to spend on gifts for while we were there. We also have a trip to Hawaii planned in this summer. We have a friend getting married, so same type of thing. Our Hawaii flights, we're lucky enough to where we didn't have to put these onto our credit card, but my family is going as well, so they put the money on the credit card and we are slowly paying them back for the flights. And we also know that we want to be bringing some Hawaii fund money, and so we're still in the process of getting up to date on these sinking funds. But like I said, it's kind of backwards also because we already had trips planned, so that's why this layout is here. We knew that these things were already going to happen. And on the next page, this is how we decided to set up my husband's side hustle, how we were able to keep track of cash. It's a lot more difficult to keep track of cash than it is to keep track of any payments in your bank account. So I just decided to draw up a calendar, and each day when he came home, he gave the money to me. I'd put it into the cash envelope, and then with that money, I would color whatever is happening. So as you can see, in October, we were still testing this out. So I also have our other trip that we had planned was Michigan, to go back and visit my husband's family in Michigan for Christmas. So these sinking funds, the way it's set up right now, you'll see in the next few pages, you're going to see that we have a different way of setting it up, but this is how we drew it out for now. And it was kind of difficult to see, okay, where did this money go and where exactly did it fit out for the whole month? So we decided to switch that up in a future page. But here you can see we were going to be spending $130 in parking at the airport, but we were able to get dropped off. So that saved us some money there. We also combined our luggage into one big suitcase. So we were able to save some money there as well. And then each of these little ornaments were $25 for the money that we wanted to spend on gifts at his parents' house as well. And on the next page, these are some things that we already knew we were going to want to be able to cash flow someday. This kind of looks overwhelming with it all drawn out like this, but we haven't touched either of these yet. We were still trying to figure out the baby steps as well when we got to this part, but eventually, my car right now is paid off, but eventually we're going to be wanting a different car for me as well. So right now it says $31,000 is what our goal is, but we'll see exactly how far we can get and how much car we can get with what we have at that point in time. So each of these squares is $100, and so eventually when we get to this point in our life, we'll start filling this up. And same thing over here for our dream house. This is for baby step 3B. I have it from $1,000 all the way up to $120,000. We live here in California, and so we would love to put 20% down on a house somewhere, but like I said, this will be baby step 3B, and it'll be so cool to be able to fill this up. Once we're done with our debt snowball, we'll almost be able to fill up $3,000 a month for each of these, so it's kind of crazy to see it drawn out, but hopefully this will help with that as well. And here on the next page, we have October, so you can see the tips were 2 pages away when we were tracking those tips, and then we were trying to figure all this out, and we were trying to figure out our written budget and where all that money was going to go, but we knew we wanted to do $2,000 a month, but we also forgot about my husband's car registration, and because we didn't pay it in time, it ended up costing us even more. So we had a little setback here, so that's why in October we were only able to pay $458 towards our baby step 2. We also had to sit down because we were trying to figure out exactly what's going on with all of our money at this time. We weren't exactly sure where everything was going, so I just created a quick page to kind of spread everything out and really look at it. We were still using a credit card at this point. We were trying to figure out how much do we really spend on food and others and everything. So we were just trying to come up with an idea of what we really needed to be spending our money on. So we did this written budget, and then it kind of helped for the next few pages. So after that happened with my husband's car registration, we were like, okay, we don't want this to happen again. So we did a little annual bill tracker here. We have a AAA membership that is due every January 8th for $76. So we started in November. We started putting $25 into a cash envelope just for AAA, so we knew when that was going to come out. My car registration was due on February 8th, so we've been putting $36 from November. We started putting money away so that we could cash flow that as well. And then the same thing for his car registration is $330, but it's not due till August. We started in November also. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do that next time. So for example, our AAA membership is already paid for, so we're not going to start it again now. Maybe we'll start it again in November, but we stopped with those payments for right now. And we moved on to other things, like we have my Amazon Prime membership that you'll see on a future page. Then I decided, okay, so how that looked for October, we might need to do a monthly expenses. And I wrote this all down for November, how much we thought we were going to pay and what we actually ended up paying. So we had that, it was able to be visually seen as well. We do have the Every Dollar app and we have used that, but I'm just such a visual and handwritten type person. I just really need to see it, and I like setting it up and all of that as well. So then what we decided over here for October is I wanted to start writing down the different times when we have some payments that are due, just because I was still trying to see, okay, when does our bills actually come out? How does that all work? So I did up the exact same tip calendar, but we also wrote down those things as well. And then we had, this is when I first started, okay, maybe I can do a little drawing for each month. So these were our November goals. I knew that for groceries, gas, my husband's clients, and some date nights that we weren't giving up, we needed $330 for that. Our annual expenses for like the AAA and both of our car registration. When I first was adding it up, I thought it was 130, but it ended up we only needed 95, so that's what that's drawn up for. And then this, we did a little check mark for our Tennessee fund. So when I colored that in on the sinking funds that were a few pages back, I colored this in as well, so I knew that that was finished. And then I drew this pig for our $2,000 for the tax, the tax debt for baby step 1. So we actually met that $2,000 goal, and it was super exciting to be able to color that in for the very first time in October. So now I decided, okay, each month we're going to have the calendar that works very well for us, and we're going to have those coloring in different parts for each month. So I decided this is a two-page spread type deal each month, and this is kind of where we started that. And it worked out very well for us from then. So I was still trying to remember, okay, when does everything due? I wrote that down in blue. And then we did our annual tracker over here. We bought tickets for my parents to go to a concert for Christmas. So we had that written down. We wanted to get a Christmas tree. We wanted to do stockings. Here's $2,000 tax baby step we have here, and more gifts and New Year's that we knew that we were going to be doing as well. So next, we wanted to figure out, in the end of November, we ended up going to Nashville. Our goal was $500 for Nashville, and we wanted to write down exactly what we spent, and we ended up spending a total of $495.07. So we were able to meet that $500 goal and stay on task, and that was kind of the very first big like aha moment, like, hey, planning this out really does work and really does help. And then we decided, I'm so embarrassed about this page, I hate it so much, but the colors didn't work out or whatever, but it's fine. We did some goals. We sat down one day and said, okay, what is our 2019 goals for family, our spiritual goals, financial goals, our social goals, physical, intellectual, and career goals. So we have those written down as well. And then we got into January. January was an awesome month for us. We did so well with our financial goals and our healthy goals and all of that. We did an awesome job, and honestly, January is probably one of our best months that we've had even so far this year. We really came back from that trip, and we just got started right away into it and started tracking all of the extra income he was able to bring in, and we knew what we were going to need for each month. So we know for Hawaii, we need $166 if we wanted to meet our goal for our Hawaii fund money. $125 each month for our flights, our annual things. This is when we started adding different things as well. We needed $120 for our annual bills that come out each month. Our taxes, $2,000 in taxes, student loans. We have weddings that were coming up. I wanted to get my hair done, and our church offerings as well. So over here, we started in January also. We started an exercise log. These were times that we decided, okay, we really wanted to get to it. We knew we were going to Hawaii this summer. We wanted to make sure that we were able to meet all of our goals. So we wrote them down just like we did. I did the exact same little layout that I do for his tips each month. And we did it for days that we planned on going to the to the gym. So we said, okay, these are the days that we're gonna go, and we sat down and we did all of them, and then we colored them in. Okay, if I plan to go on this Monday, and so I planned to go, and I actually went, so I was able to color it in. And these are the days that we said that we weren't going to go, but we ended up going anyway. So it was kind of cool to be able to track it. My husband said he was going to go every Monday, and as you can see, Mondays didn't work out for him. So we know when we're planning out our workouts from now on that we're not choosing Monday anymore for him. And over here, we started a new sinking fund. I decided that we had our Amazon Prime now that's $120. So instead of doing like the AAA, we added that into it. And same for our Hawaii tubing. One of the excursions that we're doing is a tubing experience in Hawaii. And we actually were able to get that all paid off altogether because my parents were going to pay us for an activity that we did, and we just said, hey, can we just put it straight into the Hawaii tubing fund? And they said that worked, so we paid that off. And then we also are going on some ATVs. We just booked that, and I don't know exactly how much that is yet, but I'll have room for that one here. And then anything else that comes up in the next few months, I'll just go ahead and start tracking it here. So on the next page, we have February, and I decided to do a little February theme over here. So the same type of thing that we've been doing, just coloring it in as we go. Each time my husband would bring money home, I would start coloring this in and fill it into those cash envelopes that it related to. So we had things for our renter's insurance, our auto registration, and our car maintenance as well. Then we had things for when his sisters were coming out, for Valentine's Day, for the two of us, my student loan payment that we thought came out in February, so we really started coloring that in and getting prepared for that, but we ended up not needing it until the following month. This big heart is for the taxes, or for his car payment at this point, because we were done with the taxes. We paid that off, or so we thought. And so we colored this all the way up for that, and our different things for weddings and stuff like that as well. This is our Hawaii fund money and the flights. And here we have March. Same type of thing, a different little layout that we had going on here. Our spring break, we did end up making the $300. I just never got into coloring the rest of that because we ended up spending it quite quickly. So for March, we did have spring break. I am a teacher, so we had 2 weeks off. So we had to plan for that also because we knew we were going to be spending a little bit more money than we typically do. So we had his car, $2,000, renters, car maintenance, our Amazon Prime, the tubing, our wedding, spring break, our student loan payment, the Real ID. Here in California, we have to get new driver's license. So this is like our Real ID driver's license that we have to pay for. Church, we went camping. I had a bachelorette party, our flights to Hawaii, our Hawaii fund money, and then we had to pay to get our taxes done. So we paid to get our taxes done for the 2018 year and car registration. And April, here's where we are as of right now. I did April showers bring in my last video. You might have seen this page already, but this is what we have for April, the different raindrops that I've already gone through. If you haven't heard all about this, I'll leave the link to my video up in the corner. You guys can watch that from last week, but basically the same type of thing all over again, planning it out, going through his different tips that he gets, and filling it out in the envelopes. Right now, this car payment should be filled. However, as you guys know, we had a baby step 1 emergency and had to take that money out of our emergency fund, so we slowly have been building that emergency fund back up. And our goal is to have it completed by Tuesday. So hopefully we'll see in the next few days if we're able to reach that goal. You can check us out on our Instagram to see how well we did with all of that. So if you are interested in seeing how we have set this up, or how I do this each month, in our next video it will be a plan with me for May. So I'll be filling it out onto this page. I'll be setting up the calendar that we do each month, and I've decided for this spread, since it says April showers bring, I'm going to have May flowers over here for each of our each of our cash envelopes that we have for each month. I hope you've learned a little bit and enjoyed seeing how we are going through this debt-free journey. If you have any questions or suggestions about what a future video should be or how we should set up our bullet journal, please let me know in the comment section below. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and thank you for watching.